Welcome agents. I don't like making videos like this, but I really just can't bury my head this time and say nothing because I think this is very, very important. So yeah, we're going to get straight into this one. If you are a year one pass owner, whether it be on PC or console, well, you've been lied to. It's really just as simple as that. And I'm going to talk about what's happened here. If you understand where I'm coming from and agree with what I'm saying, then please leave a like on the video. And if you don't agree with me, then please leave a comment down below. I think it's worth us all talking about this, but I think ultimately most of you are going to agree with me on this one. So with that said, let's get into this. Okay, so just picture this. If you buy something for, say, X amount of money, and it says you're going to get A, B, and C with that purchase, and it's exclusive to your purchase as well, then you expect to get A, B, and C, right? And that's pretty self-explanatory, and you don't expect anyone else who's not purchased it to get that. So it stands to reason that someone who does not buy that product or that service, they should not get access to it, right? They shouldn't get access to A, B, and C because it's exclusive to you and you've paid for it. Otherwise, you just wouldn't pay for it and you get it anyway. Well, that's the year one pass. Yesterday, the PTS went live on PC, and I was very excited to see all the new changes and additions being tested before the year one episode is released at some point probably this month. Now, it wasn't until today at work, though, I actually remembered purchasing the year one pass, which, as it states here, owners of the pass will have a 7-day early access to the narrative content only included in all year one episodes. But that's not true, is it? The PTS is live on PC, and as per the recent PTS infographic starting yesterday, everyone on PC will have access to the 2 new main missions and the new Expeditions PvE content, both of which are narrative content. Now, this was today confirmed on Twitter with this tweet. Everyone on PC is going to get access to this regardless of whether you've got the year one pass or not. So what are we actually getting with this year one pass then? Because if you're on console, you're not getting early access to this content, and if you're on PC, everyone is getting early access to this content, meaning both console and PC players who have paid for the year one pass with the promise that they're going to get early access have paid for nothing. The only winners here are the PC players who've not paid for anything, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty bad. Now, I don't want this to come across as me being entitled, but I think if you pay for something and someone else gets it for free, even though it was exclusive to your purchase, and they get it before you, then you have a right not to be happy. I'm sure every single one of you would agree with me on that. Now, some people might say, well, it's a PTS, it's not in the live game, but so what? It's still early access to the content paid for by some people, myself included, and not by others. Now, I only bought the year one pass to get early access, so I've essentially wasted my money because I could just go onto my PC now, download the PTS, and play this early for free. And I don't, just because I'm on console, I'm paying for something that I'm really not getting early access to. Other people are getting that. Also, what is actually being tested with this new content? I don't understand. The PTS right now allows you to access the first 2 missions of episode 1, but what are they actually testing? It's not a beta. It's not trying to encourage people to play this stuff. It's a public test server. This is new content. It's not old content being changed and then tested for the live game. I just have no idea why any of this new content is in the PTS, to be completely honest. Why are we testing new content? That's the dev's job. The first 2 missions, what are we testing in that mission? Ultimately, is it a good mission or is it not a good mission? But that should be for people to decide who've got early access or for people who are just playing through it. It shouldn't be part of the PTS. I don't understand why it's part of the PTS. They could have just included the matchmaking and story mode for the raid, and then all of the changes being tested for episode 1. Skill changes, crafting, all of that other stuff. Maybe even exotic, all the exotic weapons and stuff, because that doesn't actually fall under the branch of what the year one pass is. It says specifically narrative content. So that would be the first 2 missions that we're getting already as part of the PTS, and then also Expeditions, which I believe is narrative content as well. So I really don't understand why this stuff is in the PTS. And I've been thinking about this for some time. I've actually tweeted at the devs about this. No one's actually answered this yet because I don't understand why it's in there. What's it being tested for? If any of you guys can put in the comments down below why this stuff is being tested, then please let me know, because I don't have any idea. For me, what needs to be tested is the stuff that needs to be changed, not new stuff. That to me is that's a beta. That's not That's not PTS. Now, I'd be a hypocrite if I started showing you the missions and expeditions, so you're not going to see any of that stuff on my channel until it officially comes out. All the new weapons and stuff I'll cover because the Year 1 Pass specifically says story-driven content, not new weapons and stuff. So you're going to see that, but I will obviously leave warnings. Some people have suggested that this new content should have been put under an NDA to stop people streaming the new content, but I personally think it should just been removed altogether. An NDA would not take away from the fact that PC players who have not paid for the Year 1 Pass are getting access to content other PC players and console players have paid early access to. An NDA, all an NDA does is stop people from streaming it and pulling it out. But ultimately, if you don't want to look at that stuff, then just don't click on the videos where it shows that's what it's all about. There's quite a few videos up on YouTube at the moment with the new missions and stuff. You know, they're titled as is, so just don't click on them. I think that ultimately they should just not have included this in the PTS. And that way, people who have bought the Year 1 Pass get what they paid for. They get early access to this new narrative content before anyone else, because that's what they've paid for. Anyway, rant over. I just wish I could understand why the decision was made to include this content in the PTS. As I said, I have tweeted at the devs. I'm currently awaiting a response. People seem to be latching onto this tweet. Most people, I would say 99.9% of people agree with me here. And I think all of you guys are going to agree with me here as well. I think most of you, the people that don't agree with me, will probably say, well, you know, you shouldn't have bought the Year 1 Pass in the first place. But ultimately, if I pay for something and it's exclusive to me in this situation, you know, 7 days early access to all Year 1 episodes and their narrative content, then I expect to get that as someone who's paying for it. And I don't expect people who haven't paid for that to get access to that stuff before even I can. So anyway, you know me, guys, I hate making negative videos because it just doesn't do well. But I think this needed to be said. And before we end this here, I do want to move on and talk about some things in the PTS which isn't narrative driven. This is your warning, so if you want to stay from it all, you can, but this is some stuff that's come out as part of the PTS that I think is worth mentioning in this video because, you know, it's pretty, I do like covering this stuff. I do like talking about stuff that's coming out, but again, if you want to step away from this, that's entirely up to you. Alright, so first up, the flashlight coming with TU5 on Reddit. This image was posted showing the flashlight, and as you can see, it does take a slot and it has no bonuses whatsoever. Now, some of you might argue that it should have some bonus, and I agree, but to be honest, it's very rare that pistols are used in-game where the bonuses are even considered on the attachments. I mean, how often do you get a pistol and get an attachment and go, oh, you know, that plus 10% accuracy, that's really going to benefit me? I would say never. I don't think I've ever heard anyone ever say that, unless they're going for a pistol build, which generally isn't used in the game. I don't know about you, but I don't put any attachments on my pistols, so this would actually be really handy for me. Now, I'm not going to tell you how this is obtained, because there are certain ways to get this, but I don't want to spoil that in this video. I just wanted to show you the flashlight, so show you how it works in-game as is, and see what you guys think about it. Moving on, and another thing that is important to note, in last week's State of the Game, the devs quite clearly announced that Skill Haste will scale with skill power, but this is not correct. Frederick Thailander tweeted saying, and we've since corrected that, this was a misunderstanding from a live broadcast. It does not scale with skill power directly. He meant it to say that haste mods can be gotten using skill power. Now, I thought it was worth mentioning this because I think a lot of people might have expected this with TU5, but at this point, that's not the case. It's worth mentioning, though, that the skill balancing will be taking place in about a week, so there's still time for this to potentially be in the live game, but as of right now, Skill Haste will not be impacted by your skill power. Alright, so that's really it for today's video, guys. Now, I apologise for, the negativity here. I generally don't like covering any negativity on my channel. I pretty much focus on the news and the positivity and stuff, but I also know that when there's an issue that needs to be addressed, and this is one of those issues, especially because it really affects me. Now, I bought a Year 1 Pass. I've paid for this product, which says that I'm going to get 7 days early access to this content, and I don't think it's fair that people on PC who have not paid for this are getting access before me. I really don't think that's fair. Some people would say, well, they're not going to be able to carry their stuff over, but ultimately, they're going to get to play through the entire first two missions. They're going to understand all of that. When expeditions come out, they're going to be able to play through all of that, and they are getting access, whether it PTS or not, they are getting full access to this stuff before I can, and I've paid for this, as of all of you guys that have paid for a Year 1 Pass, and I don't think it's on. I really don't, and I think the problem with this as well is the pass from the Division 1 suffered the same sort of thing, where we were promised stuff that we didn't get, and this is a repeat of that. And You know, if this was anything else, if this was not a game, you know, if this was, you know, retail or something else, a restaurant, whatever, and you paid for a service and you didn't get what you paid for because, you know, you'd been lied to because other people had gotten the same thing without paying for nothing, then you'd have huge grounds to go back and do something about it. But with the way games are currently, there's really nothing we can do about it. I'm kind of over it, if that makes sense, but I felt like I had to make this video because I'm sure a lot of you guys may have overlooked this, and I don't think it's fair on the people who've spent the money to get this pass for them to overlook this, because I almost overlooked this myself until I thought about it today. But anyway, as I said, I'm over it. I'm going to move on. Next video will definitely be a positive one. We've got State of the Game to come in tomorrow. Looking forward to what they're going to be talking about in tomorrow's State of the Game, and I'll have a video for that, of course, guys. Anyway, until the next one, Epic out.